Good morning, Morgan, and good morning to any of your friends that have joined us for this video today. The era of short videos is over. We're starting a new chapter that I've broken in up into like 8 or 10 lessons. Now we're going to talk about inputs and outputs. Enough said. Let's get into reading the manual.
Python TV39. Input and output. There are several ways to present the output of a program. Data can be printed in a human-readable form or written to a file for future use. This chapter will discuss some of the possibilities. Fancier output formatting. So far we've encountered two ways of writing values, expression statements and the print function. A third way is using the write method of file objects. The standard output file can be referenced as sys.stout. See the library reference for more information on this. Often you'll want more control over the formatting of your output than simply printing space-separated values. There are several ways to format output. To use formatted string literals, begin a string with F or F before the opening quotation mark or triple quotation mark. Inside this string, you can write a Python expression between and characters that can refer to variables or literal values.
Okay, I've actually made an example of this. We've got some code we're going to run after we're done reading the manual. And we'll talk about it some more then. And this bit that they just seem to gloss over about the write method, we're going to talk a lot more about that in the example code than they did in this in the manual of all places. All right, and let's just finish this list a little bit up.
The str format method of strings requires more manual effort. You'll still use and to mark where a variable will be substituted and can provide detailed formatting directives, but you'll also need to provide the information to be formatted.
Boring! I'm not even going to include this thing. When it comes to formatting the output, there's a gazillion different ways to do it. My suggestion to you is don't bother learning this stuff until you absolutely have to. That is when you're actually writing a program, okay, and you need to format something a certain way. Then you can go and into the manual and you can do a deep dive, okay, because there are a lot more different options than what they're just talking about in this manual. A bunch more. I could do like 10 videos on all the different formatting methods that you can use with the output. But we're not going to waste our time on that. And, well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and listen to the machine talk a little bit more.
Finally, you can do all the string handling yourself by using string slicing and concatenation operations to create any layout you can imagine. The string type has some methods that perform useful operations for padding strings to a given column width.
All right. Did it stop? Okay. All right. Now that we're done reading the manual, now we're going to go over and we're going to talk some more about this in the code. All right. See you there. All right. It's been a little while. Okay. But it's time to do some example code. Now, as you see here, I stole this right out of the manual so that you can see how you can use this new method to insert the variables other than the way that we had been doing them, where we would have the text and then a comma and then put the variable there. Now you can actually embed the variables in the text. Okay, that's the key part to learn about this. But now for the thing that the manual kind of skipped over. Okay, is this creating the files. You can create files, okay, that other programs can read. Haha, right. And it's a little complicated. Okay, so what we're doing is we have to open the file, then or create the file. Okay, then we can write lines of the file, and then we have to close the file. And then in this example, we open the file, we read the file in a print statement, and then we close the file. All right? And we're going to talk about more of that in a little bit later. But before we go to the output, I want to point something out. In this statement, by where it says write, this method, all you're doing is writing a single line, hence the S. And here, when you say write lines, you can write more than one line. All right, and in fact, in this variable, they actually have 3 lines. See? They have the little special character in the end for next line. Bink, bink, bink. Just take a look at that. Now let's just look at the code. Pause the video. Pause the video. Take a look. All right. With that said, we're going to go ahead and run this code, and we're going to look at the output. And there's 2 places the output's going to be. It's going to be what's returned in the terminal, and then there's from the print statements. And then there's going to be what's in the my file, which is something that we've created that other programs can access now. All right. With that said, let's run this code. Okay, here we are in the terminal output. Here's the first thing we had here was that first print statement, okay, which is results of the variable, what year is it, and then another variable which was set to referendum, okay. Then we open the file, write to the file, close the file. We don't print anything. Then we come back, open the file that we just created, and print every line in there. And there's what we have. It says, hello, this is Delhi, this is Paris, this is London. Close the file. It's over. All right? And you've kind of seen this before. Now, let's have a look at the file that we created that can be used by other programs. All right, let's go take a look. All right, now here we are in the output. This is a file on the hard drive or on the server called myfile.txt. And now you can read this at any other program that you're running on your box. Okay, you've saved the data. That's a very important thing because you're going to write programs that are going to create data for other programs. And this is one of the ways that you can do it. It's not the most efficient way, though. The most efficient way is through a database, which we'll talk about later. But for right now, back in the olden days before they had databases, and there was a time when databases didn't really exist, back before Excel and spreadsheets, okay, it was files, what we call these flat files. Very boring, but it's all we had at the time. All right, now with that, this video is done. Go have some fun. And I heard a rumor you've been drinking a lot of Monster energy drinks. This is for Bolton. I better not catch you. Anyway, enjoy your day, Princess.